level 1. How are you, my dear students? I hope you are in good health. Take good care of yourself and pray for the entire world. Okay? Have you watched all the science videos? Great. If you have watched them, you will know that we have completed the lessons for level 1, right? The lessons and the workbook activities. Now that we have completed all the lessons and workbook, let's move on to the revisions. Okay? We are going to do revision so that we understand all the lessons we have completed in second term. Please keep your workbook page 119 open. Keep a good sharp pencil, an eraser, and also your science textbook on the table. Are you ready for the class? Let's do revision, practice, and make ourselves perfect. All right, level 1. Let's get started. Exercise A. Write the missing letters. So let's play a little game here. We are going to choose the right missing letter and put it in the box. Wow, so many colorful trains. Do you love trains? It's nice, right? It's a fun ride. I'm sure few of you also have toy trains with you and you all play with your siblings, right? Okay, so the first one, let's fill the correct letter in the correct box. O, number 1, O dash J-E-C-T. So a train is an object. So after O, which letter will come here? B. So now the word becomes object. O-B-J-E-C-T. Object. Right? Number 2. B-H-O-W-I-N-G. Does it make any sense? Bowing? Does it sound right? No. I think we have to choose the correct letter here. Which one do you think, students? Is it I? Or is it T? L. So now it's correct. It makes the perfect word. B-L-O-W-I-N-G. Blowing. Just how you can see the train is blowing steam, right? So blowing. B-L-O-W-I-N-G. Blowing. Number 3. D-H-R-E-C-L-I-O-N. This doesn't sound right to me, right? It's not even a word. So what would be the correct answer here? If I look at this train, it's going in one direction. So what can be the word here? It's going in one path, right? So I think it has to be I. Yay, I'm right. Then I'm going to fill a T. Super. So the word is correct. D-I-R-E-C-T-I-O-N. Direction. Right? Direction means it's a path which something moves. Right? So for an example, if you want to find a restaurant here and you're in the car, your parents can switch on the Google map and it will show you the direction. Right? So in one particular path which something moves is direction. Number 4. S-H blank P-E. What it can be, my dear students? Shape. Yes, shape. That's correct. S-H-A-P-E. Shape. You can see the shapes here. If you have watched the mathematics video of level 1, the teacher has explained to you about the shapes. Do you remember? Can you name the shapes? Can you see the shapes here and recognize them? Triangle, square, circle. What are those? They are shapes. Number 5. B, R, blank, K, blank, S. Wow, I can see the cyclists here. They are riding a cycle, right? They're going in one direction. And in case if they want to stop their cycle, how will they stop it? By pulling the brakes. So what is the spelling? B-R-A-K-E-S. Brakes. That's correct. Number 6. A-N blank M-O blank E-T-E-R. That's a long word, but I'm sure you all know this, right? It's from the lesson force. This instrument reminds me of something which helps me to measure the speed of wind, right? So what is this? What is the name of this machine? Right, A-N-E-M-O-M-E-T-E-R, anemometer. Anemometer, right? So this instrument is called as an anemometer, which helps in measuring the speed of wind. Number 7. S blank I-L-B blank A-T. If I look at this picture, I can see a boat sailing on the water, right? On the flowing water. But how is it able to move so fast? Because of the sails. It is a boat and I can see the sails. Right, this is a sailboat. And because of the force of wind, the sails are able to move the boat easily on the flowing water. So what is the spelling of sail? S-A-I-L-B-O-A-T, sailboat. So this is a sailboat, right? A sailboat is moving on the flowing water with the help of the force of wind and water. The sailboat can move easily on the flowing water. Number 8, SP. Wow, that's a nice racing car. So a racing car is very fast, right? What do you think? Which letters will come here? SP blank blank D. Should I choose S? No, then it will not make sense. Can I try E? Yes, that's correct. One more E. Right. Speed. So a racing car is very fast, right? It has good speed. So speed means something which can move. How fast anything can move is called a speed. Is called speed. How fast anything can move is called speed. Number 9. You can see a continent there. Can you tell me which is the largest continent? I can see India, China. Which continent has these countries? Saudi Arabia. S. If I put A-S-I-A, then the word will become Asia. So the continent is Asia. And it's the largest continent in the world, which we have studied in EVS. Remember? Number 10. R-I. I can see water flowing, right? What is it called? It's a flowing stream of water. And its natural flowing stream of water. I can see it near the mountains. R-I-V-E-R, river. That's right, my dear students. So river is a flowing stream of water. So rivers usually form on the hills. They flow down from the hills. So river is a water body, a natural water body. Let's try number 11. H blank, I can see a fish bowl, B-I-T blank T-S. So fish can stay in water. It can survive in water, right? So fish's habitat is water. Yes, the word here is habitats. How do I spell habitats? H-A-B-I-T-A-T-S, habitats. So a place where plants and animals live is called a habitat. Number 12. I can see a dry land here in this picture and it's very hot and I can see cactus on the land. It must be a desert. So let me fill the correct letters here. D-E-S-E-R-T-S. Bingo, the word is right. D-E-S-E-R-T-S, deserts, right? So a desert is a land which is dry. Mostly you don't find a lot of plants and animals staying there. You can see only few plants or animals living there, right? And this land has very less rainfall. Can I ask you a general knowledge question? Can you tell me which is the largest hot desert in the world? Can you try? It's Sahara Desert. Okay? And which is the coldest desert where it's filled with snow? The land is only covered with snow. Antarctica. Antarctica is the largest cold desert. It's very cold. Number 13. S blank R-A-P-S. I can see a lot of leftover food which has been put inside the dustbin. Do you remember? What is the word? Scraps. S-C-R-A-P-S. Scraps. So what is the meaning of scrap? Leftover, right? The leftover is called scrap. So here I can see the leftover food which we can put it in the dustbin. Number 14. F-R. I can see cute little fruits there, right? So this is very easy. Do you know the spelling of fruit? F-R-U-I-T, fruits. Yummy, delicious, fresh fruits. So yummy, right? Number 15. S. Wow, this is beautiful, right? This looks like this reminds me of some season. Right. This is the season when the trees are growing, the flowers are blooming, the birds are chirping around. Most beautiful season. It's actually my favorite season too. Is it spring season? That's right. S-P-R-I-G. Spring. Spring season. Right? Number 16. W-I. I can see a group of animals here, but they do not stay in towns or cities. They must be wild animals. So they stay in forests. Right? And they are called wildlife. W-I-L-D-L-I-F-E. Wildlife. I can see a giraffe, right? And I can see some animals and birds who we cannot find in towns or cities. So their habitat is mostly in the forests. These are the wildlife. Number 17. VA. Oh, I can see two cute little babies crawling there. But they look very different from each other. Different. What does it remind you of? Unit 7. What is the name of the Unit 7? Variation. VA. What would be the spelling, my dear students? RIATION. Variation. 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 Variation means different. Alright, so we have completed the missing letters. Did you enjoy the missing letters? It was fun, right? Now let's move on to the exercise B, page number 120. Let's do fill in the blanks. Question number 1. Force can change the dash in which something is moving. Let me see an example. I can see two cyclists riding their cycles here. Do you know how to ride a cycle, my dear students? You know. Alright. Is it fun? Do you enjoy cycling? Alright. Now if you are cycling and if you want to move left or right, can you do it? You can. So as you're pedaling the cycle, if you want to move to a different direction, you have to apply force on the handlebars. So when you apply force on handlebars as you're pedaling the cycle, it will change the direction. So force can change the direction in which something is moving. Question number 2. When you blow a balloon, you are pushing air into it, right? The answer here is pushing. So if you want a nice beautiful balloon like this, you have to push air inside. Then only the balloon will change its shape, it will increase its size, and then you can play with the balloons, isn't it? So when you blow a balloon, you are pushing air inside so that it can change its shape, it can become bigger, and it will look like a beautiful balloon. Question number 3. Dash are modern windmills that produce electricity. Do you remember Unit 5? Do you remember the name of the Unit 5? It's force and movement. So we are recollecting the lessons from force and movement. You can see this instrument or the machine here, right? What is this called as? Wind turbine. So windmills were used earlier and now we use wind turbines. Why do we use wind turbines? They help in producing electricity, right? Electricity is important for us. Without electricity, we cannot live right now. It's very difficult to survive without electricity. So, wind turbines help in producing electricity. And who helps wind turbines? The force of wind. The force of wind can help wind turbines to produce electricity. You do not find wind turbines everywhere, in only those places. You can find them in those places where the wind is strong. Okay? So you'll find a lot of wind turbines there. Question number 4. Sometimes the force of wind can cause... Oops! Can you see a bat falling onto the bed lamp there? Ah, that's so sad. Do you do that? Do you damage things in your house when you're playing? That's really bad, right? It's gonna cause damage to your house, isn't it? To the things, it'll cause damage to the things in your house. So is it good? It's not good. So damage means something which is breaking, right? Something which is not good, damage. So you can see that this thing falling on the lamp, the bat which is falling on the lamp has caused damage. It was looking so beautiful, but now it's broken. So just like that, sometimes the force of wind can cause damage. Yes, my dear students. In certain places, if the wind is very strong, the trees can, they can just fall down on houses. Yes, the houses are very strongly built, right? So are the trees. Their roots are very strong. But the force of wind can be so strong, it can be so strong that it can make the trees fall on houses and buildings, and it will create damage. So imagine a large tree falling on a house. It cannot take the weight. The house cannot take the weight. It will break. So that is called damage. Question number 5. An anemometer measures the dash of the wind. Do you remember what is this machine called as? Anemometer. So anemometer, you can see it has 3 cups rotating, right? It's tied along on a rod there with 3 cups. So as the winds are stronger, the cups start rotating, so does the rod. Okay, so when the cup rotates, it makes the rod spin, and the faster the wind, the faster this anemometer will rotate. So how anemometer helps us? We count the number of rotations and then we can calculate the wind speed. We can find out the wind speed. And why do we need to know the wind speed? Every day we can check the weather. How is the weather today, or how will the weather be for the next 7 days? Also, we can check that thanks to the anemometer, machines like anemometer. Okay, so we can understand the weather, study the weather because of anemometers. Question number 6. We can find plants and animals on land and water, right? So we can find animals like fox. Can you give me some more examples? Come on. Dog, cats, birds also, right? So we can find animals on land, and you can see those cute little dolphins, right? They are swimming, they're flying, and they're going back to the sea. They're diving back into the sea now. So those are called dolphins. So you can see animals like fish, they can live in water, and animals like fox, they can stay on land. And there are many more. Question number 7. Moles live in larger dash in the soil. Hello, how are you, mole? Good to see you back. You remember we studied about him in plants and environments in the local environment? Right. So these are the moles, the animals who live in holes in the soil. They make holes in the soil. Can you see their claws? Right? Their claws are very sharp, and their limbs are very strong. God has made their limbs so strong, and their claws as well, that they are easily able to dig holes in the soil. Okay. Do you remember what we studied about moles? Moles are animals who they make holes in the soil, and they eat Earthworms, right? Earthworms. All right. So let's move on to the next one. Question number 8. Earthworms eat rotting. See, we were just talking about earthworms. Earthworms eat rotting leaves. Can you see these earthworms here? They are feeding on the rotting leaves. Rotten leaves are not the fresh leaves. They are not fresh. Question number 9. Pigeon and squirrels live dash in ant cities. Animals like pigeons and squirrels live in towns and cities. So towns are smaller than cities, my students. Okay. Next, let's move on to the next page. Question number 9. All right. Question number 9. We know pigeons and squirrels live in towns and cities. Now, question number 10. The oldest plant in the world is a pine tree. Pine tree. So, this plant is found in Sweden. And why is it the oldest plant? Because the roots of this plant is very old. It's more than 9,000 years old. Right? You are 7 years old or maybe 8. But this plant is more than 9,000 years. So how old is it? It's very old. So the oldest plant in the world is a pine tree in a place called Sweden. Question number 11. Trees give, I can see an apple tree. That means tree gives us food and shelter for some animals. And in fact, most of the animals. Question number 12. Old trees are often very... Does this tree remind you of oak tree? An oak tree gives home to more than 300 different kinds of insects. Right? Also home for birds and animals. So because they can give home for so many, that means they must be really large. So old trees are often very large. Question number 13. Man, women, boys and girls are... You can see the boy and girl here. And babies, everybody. The man, women, boys, girls, babies. What are we? We are human beings. Human beings. Right? We belong to the human beings group. Question number 14. Our dash is made up of hundreds of different parts that work together. This is so easy. Body, right? So our body is made up of different parts that help to work together, right? All these parts, when they function, it helps the body to work, right? That means the body is working when all these functions are working. Our body is made up of hundreds of different parts that work together. For example, eyes, nose, ears, right? And there are many other different parts which we cannot see because they are inside our body. So all these tiny parts, like, they are nerves, tissues. So all these parts inside our body, they function so that the body can move here and there and it can function properly. Question number 15. All human bodies work in same way, but everyone is... Now, you can see a group of kids there, right? Yes? They all have eyes, nose, hands, legs. Do you also have eyes? Even I have eyes, right? We can see. We can hear because of our ears. We can smell because of our nose. So our human bodies work the same way, but still everyone is different. Everyone is different. All human bodies work in same way, but everyone is different. Okay, now let's move on to the next exercise, and what that would be. Exercise C is write true or false. That's in your workbook, page number 121, 122. You are going to write true if the sentence is correct, and we are going to write false if the sentence is wrong. Question number 1. A chair can move on its own. False. A chair cannot move on its own. Question number 2. A balloon changes shape when blown. So when we push air inside the balloon, it changes shape. It's true. Okay, question number 3. Living things can move on their own. Yes, my dear students. Animals can move, so can plants. So living things can move on their own. It's true. Question number 4. A dam is a wall built across the river. True. Do you remember this dam? This word dam? It is in your unit 5, Force and Movement. The teacher has explained to you that a dam is used to store water for future purpose. Right? So we build a dam where there is a good rainfall or heavy rainfall. And these dams are a wall which are built across the river so that we can store more water, excess water or extra water, which we can use in future. Question number 5. A hot air balloon has an engine. False. A hot air balloon can float up in the sky with the help of wind. The force of wind helps the hot air balloon to float up in the sky and not because of an engine. Question number 6. The force of water can turn a watermill. Have you watched the video on watermills? The teacher must have showed you, right? In the unit 5. The watermill resembles a wheel. It looks like a wheel. So the water falls on this watermill, and the force with which the water falls on the watermill, it rotates, and the faster it rotates, it helps in grinding grains like corn into fine flour. So watermill helps human beings in grinding grains into fine flour. Okay? Flour, the spelling of flour here is not the flower, my dear students. Here the flour is which your mummy uses to bake the cake. Like the spelling of flour here is flour, flour. Okay? Question number 7. Acceleration means increasing the speed of an object. True. So, let me give you a small example. Do you enjoy cycling? Do you have a cycle? Do you know how to ride it? Great. So, if you know how to ride it, you know that we have to pedal the cycle so we can move further. So, as you pedal, the cycle will move, right? So, the force you put on the cycle, it increases the speed. Acceleration means increasing the speed of an object. So, your cycle is a very good example for acceleration. Okay? Question number 8. Slugs, woodlice and snails live in a dark and damp habitat. Do you remember this lesson, Plants and Animals, around the school? It's in your unit 6, plants and animals in the local environment, right? So we had shown you some pictures on the slimy creatures like slugs and snails. And I had also shown you a picture of wood lice. All these small animals, they live in a dark and damp habitat. They do not live in a place where there's a lot of light. So that means it is true. So what I'm going to do is, wherever I said it's true, we are going to give a star. And wherever we said it's false, we are going to give a sad smiley. Should we try? True, 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 false, true again, or false to finish. Question number 9. Butterflies lay their eggs on leaves. Now here we are going to play this in a different way. Okay, so if it is true, you will find someone saying true. And if it is false, he will express false. Are you ready? So like I said, question number 9, butterflies lay their eggs on leaves. We have already studied this, that they lay their eggs on leaves. So is it true or false? It's true. Question number 10. Sparrows, kites and crows are not birds. Let's see what this Mr. Astronaut is saying. Oops! You're near the wrong planet. That means it is false. Sparrows, kites and crows are birds. Question number 10. There are plants and animals in rivers, lakes and ponds. Let's see what Mr. Astronaut says. So it is true. We can find plants like water lilies and animals like frogs or fish near these water bodies like rivers, lakes and ponds. Question number 12. We obtain wood from trees. So we obtain wood from trees. When we cut trees, the branches and the trunk is made up of wood. So we get this wood from trees. We can make furniture. Your pencils are made from wood, right? So we obtain wood from trees. Even the paper comes from trees. Question number 13. Trees do not have roots. My dear students, if trees do not have roots, how will they get their supply of water and daily nutrients? Just like how we have a mouth where we can have our food and water, the trees also get their daily nutrients from roots. So, trees have roots. Question number 14. A weed is a plant growing where it is not wanted. So what is a weed, my dear students? We had studied this. A weed is a plant which grows where it is not wanted. So it is true. Question number 15. We are not different from other animals. Human beings also belong to the animal group as per science, isn't it? But are we different from them? We are different from them, but here the question here is, it says we are not different from other animals. That means the answer here will be false. We are different from other animals because we can read and write, we can talk, we can create new things, right? So we are different from other animals. And question number 16. Some babies are large, some can be small. True, right? Some babies can be born large and some can be born small. So they can be different. The babies also can be different in size. Alright, so that completes our revision for missing letters, fill in the blanks and true or false. We have some more to do, but I will see you soon with that video. Till then, take care of yourself and believe in magic of science because it is real, it has facts, and I hope you enjoy science. Take care, my dear students.